We have the cheapest tops here at St Andrews.
Welcome all, it's Course Monday night, 7:30, here we go, the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Boyle Sports, principal sponsors of Birmingham City Football Club, and along with the Garrison Coffee Company, Blues Trust and SAS Autos, all supporting PTSD and lots of other local charities, and of course our good friends at the Bawdsey Labour Club too. Here we go, I am back, sorry for my absence last week, but it was quite enforced. Unfortunately I've got to wear a robe tonight, so those are just the way things are. Introducing the rest of the team tonight, the one and only Mr. Mark Adams.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Robe twin.
Right.
Robe twin.
Robe one.
Chris Brown.
Good evening. Sorry. It's Baltimix, sorry.
And good friend Paul Hipkiss.
Good evening, all.
On fan cam tonight, we've got the one and only Lee Maley.
Hello.
And, of course, special guest in with us tonight, the one and only shirt lifter himself, Mr. Paul Tait.
Hi, everyone.
Couldn't resist the shirt lifter pick.
I'm not happy with that.
It's that iconic moment. It's what we all remember you for.
Be careful saying that.
Yeah. Okay, a very serious note at the front of the show tonight, ladies and gents, and I'll update you shortly on my health and one thing or another, but it really matters.
No,
Well. A post from the lovely Debbie Foster, and there's a beautiful photograph of a lad, and feel so guilty. Guilty I have boys' illness. Guilty I couldn't save them. Guilty I couldn't have done more. Guilty I couldn't have found a cure. Guilty I can't even get him a headstone. Guilty I hurt people with my sorrow. Guilty depriving James of his brothers. Guilty depriving Rob of 3 sons. Guilty because I have given up. Guilty because I am making depressing posts. Debbie, you, lady, are a rock. Don't you understand that? You are an absolute rock. None of us can imagine what you've been through, Bab, but I can tell you now, that headstone is well over half paid for, and we're going to do our best tonight in the next 90 minutes to get the rest of that funds for that headstone for you. All right? And that's just a gift from football fans. There's nothing in that. You've not asked or begged or nothing anything like that. This is something we're going to do for you and for your family, okay? And don't feel guilty. You have no need to feel guilty. We're all firmly behind you.
I believe it's
Really?
well into the £500 now, so I think we're well over halfway, Nick, on that.
Well, I think it was £555 last time I learned.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've got no access to a laptop again tonight, so I can't look at the shout box. I'm sure Auntie Linda will update us very shortly as to what the figures are and the figures throughout the course of the show. And what we're going to try and do is raise some more cash tonight here on the Tilton Talk Show. We're going to do our very best. And as I say, that's all we can do. But Debbie, please don't feel guilty, sweetheart. Don't feel guilty. You're a Birmingham City fan. That's why you shouldn't feel guilty, because we're a family and we'll do everything we possibly can for you. Right, OK. Do you know where we are on the auctions, Chris?
I don't. I'm guessing Craig will keep us up.
OK. Craig, if you listen, well, I know you listen, buddy, give us a quick update on where we are with the 4 auctions that are going on tonight, and we'll put them out there and see if we can get some more cash on the table. Yeah. We'd love to hit that £1,000 mark tonight.
Right, yeah.
And, it would be absolutely fantastic if we could.
OK, so we're at 565, and David...
500.
Yeah. And David Bridgeway has just asked how does he donate, but I think the best way is probably to go onto our group page, and I believe there's a Just Giving link on the page.
Either that or get in touch with Linda Ensor, E-N-D-S-O, Linda Ensor,
Okay.
Auntie Linda, she'll sort you out, and we'll. And if anybody else out there wants to donate tonight, please do. Please feel free. I know there's all these things going on, and COVID and what own times are really, really difficult for everybody. Yeah. But I know what you guys are like. You've not only got big pockets, you've got big hearts. Let's do what we can. All right? Okay. Football. A win and a loss. Don't think we was expecting either of those, Paul, were we?
Well, no. I mean, first and foremost, obviously, Lee Bowyer's come in now and, I believe he's the right man for the job. I think, he gets the club. He's played for us, obviously, during our best of times, obviously our best moment in our history. And hopefully he can pass that on now to the players we've got today and we can see us over the line. But the Reading game, I thought we were very good, 4-4-2 at last and playing Djukovic to his strengths, which is what I've been screaming out for all season. And yeah, we get the job done. And obviously Harley Dean's celebration after he gets the winner was interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
And then obviously on to Watford Saturday. I didn't think we disgraced ourselves. Obviously, again, the plain banner going over was very interesting as well. And you know, it only happens at Blues, doesn't it? There's always something to talk about off the field as well. But overall, you know, I would have took 3 points from a possible 6 from them 2 fixtures. I don't think it's a bad return. No. And hopefully we can just, you know, get what we need in the remaining games to see us over the line, and especially against the teams around us. You know, when we're playing the likes of Rotherham and, you know, the other teams around us.
Here and now, before we go any further, I've got to take a little bit of credit for all of this. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? I think I have. We interviewed Lee Bowyer a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And he was asked, would you fancy managing the Blues? And he said, never say never. And I said, see you in a couple of weeks then. Yeah.
And do you remember who said, Lee, come back now and save us?
A consortium,
Yeah. Who said
that?
Who said that?
So the Tilton Talk Show team are the only people who know how to get a decent manager in at St Andrews.
But if it does go all tits up, it definitely was Nick.
Yeah,
it was Nick.
Cheers, Chris. Nice one, thank you.
I've said on here a few times, you know, I'm a big fan of former players coming back to manage us. It's worked in the past, and you know, there's no reason why it can't work again. They get the club, they get the fans, you know, and they know what it's all about. And you know,
we've had Trevor Francis, Steve Bruce, Gary Pendry,
Gary Rowett,
Lee Bowyer now,
Gil Merrick.
It's not in the frame now.
Gil Merrick,
Gil Merrick, yeah. And of course, we are the only football team, I believe, not 100% sure, might have been Ipswich as well, but I think the only football team that had a World Cup winning manager as their manager.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Alf Ramsey.
Did you know that, Paul?
Yeah. Didn't know that.
The only football team that had a World Cup winning manager as a manager?
In England, yeah.
Was that Sir Alf Ramsey?
Yeah. Sir Alf Ramsey. The England 1966 World Cup manager was gaffer at St Andrews shortly after that.
Somebody will pipe up in a bit and go, no.
That's my interest. In fact, of the week, guys. That's all you get. Right, a little bit about me. I've been off, as you know, a week. I had surgery last Monday. Double hernia, one on just about 2 inches above the belly button, one in the groin, which has caused me an awful lot of problems this week, ladies and gentlemen, which I don't really know to go into, to be fair. However, I'm on the mend. Dressings have come off today. Wounds look clean and good. Plenty of bruising around, but you know what? You can't keep a good man down, can you? Can't say that I'm going to last the whole show, guys. Okay. But I certainly won't be able to do the last 15 minutes. I'll just rip my stitches out, I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm like when I get going. Right, okay, let's get Tatey, your take on how things are going.
Nick, just before we start, Jason Hughes said he's been looking at Lee Mailing for 10 minutes thinking, crikey, Tatey has changed.
Oh, no, please, don't. No. Take over, Paul. Oh, you horrible people.
Sorry.
No.
Over to you, Tatey.
No. Tatey, your take on things that are going down at St Andrews at the minute, kid?
Don't hold back.
It's very difficult, isn't it? I mean, I'm glad there's been a change. I think it's long overdue. The right man's coming, as far as I'm concerned. Someone who knows the club. He's a very hungry manager, young manager. I just can't understand why the change wasn't made earlier. My understanding is that the CEO at the club didn't want Bowyer. He wanted to keep Frank, and it was taken out of his hands. How true that is, I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing. And obviously, he's not too happy about it. It's going to be a hell of a job to stay in the league. But I think if Crank was the manager and we had gone down and we kept him, I just could not see us coming back. If we do go down, if the worst happens and we do go down, with Bowyer at the helm, I can see us coming back. I really can. Yeah. But it's not over. There's loads of games left. The game on Saturday against Watford, you know, they've come on leaps and bounds, Watford, compared to when they come to St Andrews early this season and beat us. Was it 1-0, I think?
1-0, yeah.
You know, they've come on leaps and bounds. They look very, very strong. And so they should. They've only lost a couple of players from the team that come down, as of Norwich. There's your two there. Should go automatically back up. There's no disgrace getting beat by Watford. We played well in patches. We took our chances. You know, we could have, maybe got a point out of the game. Goals change games, and obviously when we were pushing forward at the end, and they got us with a sucker punch at the end. But it was positive that the last two games, Reading and Watford, a lot of fans were thinking we maybe won't get any points out of those two. To get 3 points, I'm quite happy with that. I just wish that Rotherham hadn't have won away at Bristol City. But they've got that many games in hand of us, but they've got a hell of a fixture congestion, haven't they? In April, it's like 8 or 9 games they've got. So it'll be difficult for them if they any injuries. So let's hope that they do.
You're confident we'll get out of it?
Am I confident we'll get out of it?
Yeah.
I am, because of what I've seen in the last 2 games. I've seen desire. I've actually seen players wanting to run around, knowing what they're doing. I can see an identity for us. I couldn't see that all season. I literally did not know when I was watching the games what the players were doing. I don't think they knew what they were doing. They looked lost to me.
Even after that third goal went in, their heads did not drop. I was watching the tone of the body language and everything. And okay, I know the game was over, so I started like player watching, if you know what I mean. And not one of them dropped their heads, not one.
No, and I think you'll get that. I think Lee Bowyer, him coming in charge with Craig Gardner as well. I think when Craig was there under Cranky, he was very much in the background, wasn't he? You didn't say anything, remonstrate with the players or anything. But I think now he'll have more of a say in it, obviously. Now he's assistant manager. And that can only be a good thing for us to see us through to the end of the season. It's just that if you look at our fixtures, the teams that we've got to play, they're all up there, aren't they? They're all going for promotion. But you know what? This stage of the season, anything can happen. This league is anyone can beat anyone on any given day. It's a mad hard league.
Lee, what's your take on it?
Oh, Lee.
Lee on fan cam?
Yeah,
I'm just...
Yeah, wakey, mate. It's all right. Where have you been for a coffee?
I didn't hear you call me there. Just exactly what Paul was just saying. If Karanka had taken us down, there's no way we'd have come back next season. And I said there's a whole new spirit now, and there's a new belief. And I don't think that we will go down. But if we did drop, I don't think we'd have any of the problems we'd have had if Karanka had stayed. He should have gone after we lost 4-0 at home to Derby. It needed a change a lot sooner. But as Paul again said, he was Dong's man, and Dong was adamant he wanted to stick with him. But
there's another thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about Dong for a minute, because he absolutely saw that banner flying across Watford. As soon as I heard that noise on the TV, I thought, I know what's going to go on here in the next minute or so. And boom, it happened. And Sky, well, I'm surprised, number one, they flashed up to the plane. I was surprised, number two, they flashed straight down to Dong. And what was he doing? Looking up at it. Dong, there is a message for you. Nobody wants you at this football club. So pick yourself up, sling your hook, do one so that we can move on. Somebody else carry on.
Sling your hook. Back to you, Lee. As you were saying, Lee.
The whole rock setting after they relieved Rowett 2 months into the rain, didn't it? And of course, obviously, it just spiraled downhill, and then when Monk came in, of course, he galvanised the team with the supporters like never before. Nobody had ever done it to that extent. Not even Gary Rowett had created such a bond. But then, of course, obviously, whatever went on behind the scenes happened. Obviously, he was relieved of his duties, and when they replaced Rowett with Zola, disaster. And obviously, even Pep's football was better than Karanka's, and that's saying something. It was just a down, and then as soon as Bowyer was in the frame, I think there wasn't anybody who didn't want him. The belief that we could do something under him, is there, and then obviously got a lot stronger after that first game, and like I say, even after the Watford defeat with nobody dropping their heads, it's hopefully a new Monk-esque era where the players will have that belief to push on and stay up in the first place. But there's still got to be a clear out of some dead wood in some regard.
I'm sure there will come January.
Absolutely.
January. When is it? When's the next window?
End of season,
Yeah. We're not going to matches. I'm not even sure what month it is.
Well, has the work even started at St Andrews yet as well? Like I say, because we might not even be going back August, because they haven't even started on the structure of players, have they?
I think it'll be much later. I think it'll be much later.
Ian. Carry on, Mark.
No, sorry, Nick. I think it'll be much later than August. As in, when you look at the whole society as a whole, I think it'll be a lot later than. I think people think it will be a case of come August, everybody will, be back as normal, but it won't be like that.
No, I think we'll be crammed into the main road stand. No, when fans do go back, because like I said, those two stands won't be ready regardless, like you say. So everyone will be crammed into the main stand and the railway end. So that's going to lose a bit of atmosphere as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think as well. I think also. Sorry, Chris. I was thinking about this today. Away games. I think we'll see a lot smaller allocations for a while as well.
Well, we'll have to.
I think taking 2,000 or 3,000 away will be that'll be gradual as well. So it could be a good couple of years before we have a big away, big away days. It's quite sad, really.
It is, yeah.
But,
breaking news just coming in from Kevin Tomlinson, currently doing a football card in the Royal Blue View room. £5 to go with £100 to the winner and £100 to the Headstone Fund. Thank you very much, sir.
That's brilliant.
Thank you very much indeed.
Good lads.
Thank you.
So Tait, let's take it back, mate. Obviously, I guess you get schoolboy forms, don't you, when you started playing? Is that right?
Yeah.
And were you actually spotted by scouts, or was it sort of like, just talk us through how you started playing for us, really, now you got into the first team?
Yeah, I was playing for Chelmsley Wood for 3 seasons, and we had a really good team. There was myself, Matthew Fox, who went on to play for Blues, Brian Small, who went to play for the Villa.
Yeah,
and us and Blues. So we had a lot of the lads were training at pro clubs as well. So we had a fantastic youth setup at the club. And I just got asked by, I think it was Norman Bodell. Do you remember Norman from years ago? I think he was assistant manager under Jim Smith. I think him and a guy called Mick Murray, who was a scout who went on to scout at Villa. And they just asked me if I wanted to come down. They'd be watching me, and obviously about 11. And so of course, and I went down and I made a really good impression. And at the time, you didn't sign schoolboy forms until you were 14. That were the FA rules. And I signed at 12, and they put it away in the drawer and said, "Listen, you're signed to us now, and no one should know anything. But you're part of us, and you've got a YTS when you finish schooling." So I knew from a very young age that if I worked hard, I was going to have potentially have a football career, which was wrong, really, because then I just didn't try at school for 5 years. Do you know what I mean? So, and the teachers say to you, you go to your careers officer and they say, "What do you want to be then?" And all the kids go, "I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a footballer," and they all get out and all that. But I said, no, you don't understand. I'm going to be a footballer. I've got the contract. They'll go and get out the room and all that. So it really could tell my how I was getting on at school, really. So that's how it started. I was training down the Blues. They really looked after me. I loved it. Times were bad. They used to take me away on all the away trips when Ron Saunders was the manager. I used to go away and put the kit out before the games. All the trips like Tottenham, Norwich, loads of games I went to, they took me just to keep me happy at the club. Because there's quite a few clubs after me when I was younger, and that's I didn't look back really. Left school at 15, and then straight into Blues when I left school on the YTS, £28.50 a week, slave labour, and that's when you realise that you're not playing street football or Sunday morning football. Then that's when it's your livelihood then, and you're in the big boys world, and this is how you do things or get out, so everything changed for me overnight, really. Going from playing on the streets, Stetchford, to, potentially playing in front of all my mates on the terraces at St Andrews. It was a big thing for me, So I made my debut at 16, so it was a massive thing for me to make my debut that young. Wasn't ready for it, but we had, as I say, a lot of the younger fans might think it's bad now, but it was really bad back then. We had absolutely no money to spend at all. We were broke. The club was broke.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And it was bad.
Loads of news.
Turn off the lights. When we used to go in the changing rooms, if we left the changing room, we had to turn off the lights. And it was really, really bad times. No training facilities. We used to train on the park opposite the Garrison on Fridays, down by the ground, doing set pieces and that. You can imagine that now.
Yeah.
We should train anywhere, everywhere, over in Newtown on Redgrass pitches in the middle of a council estate. You know, we used to, anywhere we could find to train, that's where we trained. But so as a youngster, we had nowhere to practice, you see. It's because we had to get back and sweep the terraces and do the boots. We didn't have our own training ground, so you couldn't practice. You couldn't like stay for an hour after training like we do now, or 2 hours, and practice and do shooting and passing. It was back onto the minibus, get battered by the pros for not doing the job properly, and leave at 5 o'clock every day and get in at 8. So it was weren't nice, but it was a good grounding for me and the rest of the lads to realise what it was going to be like to be a pro footballer. I mean, I understand these days they don't do anything, do they? They go through the youth system and they get looked after. They get anything they want. You know, they don't sweep up, they don't do any boots, they don't do anything. You know.
And who was your debut against, and how did it feel the first time you put that shirt on and walked out?
My debut was against Leeds at St Andrews, and I think it was a Friday night.
I was going to say it's Friday night, wasn't it? Yeah.
It wasn't long after. Well, it was 3 years after. I think it was the first time we played them since the riot in '85. I think. So, like, I don't know why they put it on the night games. I think it's to stop many fans travelling down from Leeds. I think.
Probably. Yeah, I think.
And I'd been banging in the goals for the youth team in reserves because I used to be a forward. You see. Yeah. And I was just banging loads of goals in the Youth Cup finals. I was scoring hat-tricks and everything was because we never had no money to spend. Gary Penny said, "Listen, I'm going to put you in. I'll give you a go." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like weighing 9.5 stone. I'm thinking, "Oh my!" I thought, "Oh man," you know. I was bricking it, as you can imagine. It was like it's a big thing. It's massive, and I wasn't ready physically or mentally. But I come on. I got half an hour. Hit the post with the shot. Missed the one-on-one. I got man of the match, and I said that's how bad we were at the time. It was only on 28 minutes, so I got man of the match. 16-year-old kid, and it was an amazing feeling, you know, to play. I did really well. I really enjoyed it. I think the lead centre halves were big lads, and they must have looked at me and thought, "Who's this little skinny runt here? We're going to break his arm." They couldn't be anywhere near me. Like, I was so quick back in them days. I was quite clever when I was a forward. But I loved it, you know. I just absolutely loved it. It's what boyhood dreams, isn't it? You know, running out for your team and you know, especially against Leeds as well. You know, you really like them because they're quite a big club.
Yeah, and did you ever see your teacher? Sorry, just one more.
Got loads and loads of things coming in, dude. First off, McCree's just scored for the Blues for the under-23s, a 1-0. Thanks to Ray for that one. Adam Wilk says he's complained. Please take no swearing. Twice you've mentioned the V word. Where's the other one? Right, okay, no, this was one I did really want to read out. And it's from a bloke called Paul Devlin. Anybody ever heard of him?
Devlin, somebody. Yeah. I've heard of him. Yeah. I think
name rings a bell somewhere.
Under 16s.
If I ever get a manager's job, will Tait be my assistant? And how long would we last?
I think the answer to that would be probably no. We wouldn't get a job together. Like Steve Bruce was adamant that he was taking both of us to Sheffield United because he was our drinking partner at Blues.
Oh, right.
And he said he's going to take us, and he took Devs. And I was waiting for the phone to ring. I said, "Devs, you got to speak to Brucey, man." I said, "Where's my move?" And he said, and Brucey come on the phone and said to me, he said, "I can't have the pair of you together." He said, "You're too mad." So Dev's got the move and left me to fester. So I've always got that gripe with Brucey there. But it would be an experience, me and Dev's manager and assistant. I think I'd be the assistant, really, if I'm honest.
Yeah. He's obviously he's after something because he's just called you a great bloke.
Who Devs?
Yeah.
Paul, in 5 minutes, could we do the 1 to 11 in 5 minutes? And Ray Hobro also wants to know, and I know a few people have mentioned this tonight, can Tait remind us of the story that happened on the golf course with the Oxford kid, man? Down to you.
Oh.
You want it now?
Is it clean?
You want it now, yeah?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Go on,
right then. A quick, unfortunately, fell out with Trevor Francis, and I did everything I could to get back in the team, playing really well in the reserves. It wasn't happening. Got a call. He said, I'd turned down loads of moves to Wolves, Watford over the years. Loads of moves I turned down. And I just wanted to start Blues. I thought I'd outlast Trevor, but obviously it didn't happen. And he just said Oxford have come in. They're in the Championship and against Blues and blah, blah. I said, I'll what they're offering, I'll go and speak to them. Just needed to get back playing. Anyway, signed for 3 years. I think it was 3.5 years. Went down there, fresh start, you know, keep me out of trouble. You know, because I was always involved in a lot of trouble living in Birmingham. And great club, family club, got on with everyone. Big Kev Francis was down there, and good friend of mine. And I thought, right then, this is it, the next chapter. I'm fit, I'm raring to go, just want to play. So we're playing Chelsea in the FA Cup. I think Chelsea were the olders, at the Manor. We're playing at the Manor Ground on the Tuesday or the Wednesday in the week. And we're training. We went training on the Monday morning. And as you know, all the players are there just kicking a ball around, a cup of tea, having a chat, and lovely weather, lovely setting in Oxford. And next thing you know, this guy appears, big guy, in a 3/4 jacket, and he starts swearing. And this was about 9:30 in the morning, believe it or not. So all the lads are backing off now, moving away, telling him to get away, get security, even though we didn't have security. Get security, get someone, get him away. And he was swearing. And next thing you know, he's gone into his jacket and pulled out a kosh. Right? So, and I didn't think anything of it. I'm thinking, well, he's obviously off his nuts. And so he started waving his kosh around. Like this, wow. And all the lads are backing off now. Well, I've backed off behind this guy. I'm thinking, well, whatever happens, he ain't going to do nothing. And so he's put the kosh away, he starts swearing. Next thing you know, he's gone into his jacket again, and he's pulled out a gun. So, obviously, things change, don't they, when you see a shooter? Don't know if anyone's ever had a gun pulled out on him.
No, not recently. No.
So he's pulled out this shooter. And all the lads now are screaming, like, darting off, running. And I'm thinking, well, what? I don't know anyone really. I don't know Kevin. I think, well, what do I do? So I turned round, looked at me, and pointed the gun at me. And I've gone, I can't believe this. I said, I've only been here a day, or two or 3 days. So these are pulling out a shooter on me. Oh, I can't believe it. So next thing you know, I've started to jog, and he's coming after me now with a gun. Right? He's coming after me with the gun. All I've heard is bang. I've gone, what? Was that a shot? So I don't know, when you get into, you always say, think about it. If someone's chasing you and they've got a gun, okay. But when you hear a bullet or when you hear a bang, you don't run that quick because you're just waiting for it to hit you. Yeah. Right? So you can imagine like a Benny Hill scene when the geezer's legging after me and all across the training ground, and I'm going left and right, and he's coming after me, and all looking at is bang, bang. Obviously, I'm absolutely bricking it, and he's chasing me. And I'm thinking, how come he hasn't hit me? I'm literally like nearly crying now. So I kept on running, I'm running, bang, bang, and he's still coming. And I thought I should be able to outrun him, but my legs, I couldn't move. They were like jelly. I'd absolutely gone. So I got to this big oak tree, and I thought, I can't run anymore. I'm just going to have to have it with him. And there's these old geezers. There was a golf course. I didn't have a clue where I was running. I didn't know the area. And there was these two old guys playing golf on the putting green, like they're doing shots like that. And I went, right. So I've just run over to the green, grabbed the geezer's putter off him, and said, mate, I said, I've got to have this. And he was, obviously, you can imagine what he was saying to me. He was going, mental thief, stop. So I need this. I just need it. So I got behind this big oak tree with his putter, and he's going mad at me, this old geezer. And the old guy with the gun is still coming at me. And all he said to me is, putting the gun, I'm behind the tree, and he said, put the putter down, and I won't shoot. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, how many shots has he had now? I'm going to take me. Look, I'm going to risk it. He must have had about 6 shots, and I'm like, my adrenaline's pumping round, thoughts all going through my mind. I'm thinking. So I've got the golf club, and I've said, look, listen, let's go then. And I've just run into him, and thank Christ, I've tried to do as much damage as I could. It's fine for my life, and I've hit him, and he put up. He had the kosh in one hand and the gun in the other. So he's put his hands up like this, and I've hit his hand. Blood's gone everywhere. Pissing of blood everywhere. He's fallen to the floor. I'm just absolutely caning him in on now. So next thing you know, all the players are running over. It's mental. Like you can imagine the pandemonium now. It's like, it's really bad. There's blood. Oh, just noise. Some guy's got me around the throat trying to strangle me. I understood then that was his son. And then he's on the floor. And all the players are jumping on me, and they said, it's a wind-up. And I said, what do you mean a wind-up? And apparently, this guy called Terry, he used to do it to every new player at Oxford. He used to put balaclavas on, go into the showers. So if you turned around, he'd be standing there with a shooter. They had players crying in the corner, like crying for their wives and kids. He did it to the England football team years ago, back in the 80s. So he was well known. And obviously I've left him on the floor, covered in blood, ambulance and everything. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get nicked here. It's like attempted murder. And I've not even played, I've only played one game for him. I'm thinking, what is going on? I can't believe this happened to me. And I've had to go with Big Kev, 6'7" Kev, who could just knock me out with one punch. And I'm starting to rip into him, saying, how could you do this to me? And then it was just absolute nuts, really bad. He made all the papers down there. And anyway, as time went on, I got a letter from the guy I hit suing me then for loss of earnings. He was a window cleaner by trade, and he couldn't work for 6 months because I smashed his hands into bits. And I'm thinking, this can't get any worse for me. I've had a bill come in from the old guy off the golf course, 145 quid for a putter. I don't even play golf. I ain't got a clue what was going on, how much the golf clubs are worth. So I said to the club, I said, I'm not paying anything. I said, you've set all this up to put me in fear. I said, some geezer could have died. And that was it, really. Just made all the press were around me down at Oxford after we played Chelsea. But I went into the Chelsea game a couple of days later, and my head was absolutely, as you can imagine, cabbaged. Yeah. Like, I'd made such a bad impression in the first couple of days. I think the players must have thought, who on earth have we signed here? Every other player has been on the floor fighting. And I've reacted like no other players ever reacted before. And
but they don't know Tait, though, do they?
Well, at the time, I was a bit of a lad when and I retired him. He went into retirement then, this guy. But he did try to sue me, and which I found I just couldn't believe. I thought after what he did, and it was I can't describe how scared I was when he pulled the gun out and started firing. I can't even now just send shivers down my spine. It was for them to do that to me. It was just unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, though, Paul, you're right. You know what? Number one, somebody could have got killed, right?
Yeah, they could.
And number two, you should have been praised for the only person to attack the attacker.
Yeah, I suppose. No, I wouldn't say praise. I think stupidity, really. I should have just kept on running.
What end of stupidity is it when someone's got a gun pointed at you, you've heard 6 shots, and you've got a golf club to defend yourself?
Yeah, but I didn't know I'd heard 6 shots.
Sorry, guys. Somebody's joined us.
Can we just very quickly do the 1 to 11?
No, hang on, because somebody's just joined us.
I know, but can we do the 1 to 11 first?
Who is it?
No. Just welcome him.
Welcome
ladies and gentlemen, please, Paul Tait, would you like to welcome the one and only Ricky Otto?
Hello, Ricky. How are you, you lunatic?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I was all right till I saw you, pal.
Good to see you, my man. Good
and
to
you,
see
Ricky,
you.
man. Lovely.
You're looking well, man. You're looking well.
I'm okay, Ricky. Okay, brother.
Yeah, not too bad, man.
Hey, what's that plant behind you? It's not one of them wacky ones, is it?
I finished
I asked him that last time we were on.
We don't
Yeah,
talk about
finished with that, man. Good to see you, Tait.
And you,
that
Ricky,
story,
mate.
Rick?
And you.
Ricky, that story that you did tell us about what did you do before you went out? Did you do this and an hour just sat there and had a split? Mate, I have told that to so many people. It's so funny. What a brilliant moment that's been on the Tilt and Talk show. Super.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, and again, I want to put it in perspective, because I think one of the things that, when I look back, I wouldn't want anyone to think that I was just doing it kind of blasé and ignorantly, because I think one of the things, it's the lifestyle I was coming out of. And although, the lifestyle that I was coming out of, I didn't actually see smoking as a deterrent or something that I was doing that could jeopardize anything. So I was very ignorant as well, very rebellious. But again, I think my lifestyle coming out, there was nobody in football that would really sit down and say, listen, rein it in a little bit. So I don't want anyone to think that I was just completely reckless and trying to get other people smoking before games, because it wasn't like that. But obviously that was something that, it was a habit that I came into football doing.
Yeah.
No judge for it, buddy. I promise. No judge, Jack.
I came into football doing.
Nobody.
So yeah, I don't want it to be sort of like I was just reckless and just not caring.
We've all been reckless, mate. We've all been reckless.
But that was just the way it was.
Yeah.
When did
someone's trying to phone me? Sorry if it keeps cutting out. Someone keeps trying to phone me.
Oh, no worries.
Go on,
when did you two last speak to each other?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. You and Ricky, Tait, yeah.
On this show.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously when we went our separate ways, players go their separate ways, and you lose touch with people. Obviously, I'm down at Birmingham all the time. I don't think Ricky's been down to the games much. You know, he's got his own life to lead, but you know, whereas I go down the games, you know, and so it's our paths are the club. I still see a lot of the players who we both played, like Dave Barnett and that down the game a lot. You know, but there's a lot of players just adrift. They go back to a lot of players who live in London, and you know, it's only the local lads really who keep in touch with. But me and Ricky haven't actually spoken until the other week on the show. Long time.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. So, and the story about your journey to Wembley as well was funny when Ricky was on.
Oh yeah.
I know there was another one. I was Ricky. I don't know if you can remember when we were in that nightclub, Tintin's opposite.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I can just about hear it. It's low.
Tintin's, yeah.
Can someone turn it up?
I'll try and. I don't think I can go. I don't think I can.
You got
turn
your volume
higher.
up. You got your volume up, Ricky. You got your volume up.
Yeah, I've got it up.
Yeah. I've turned it up a bit.
Yeah, we were in a nightclub. I mean, I didn't go out with Ricky that night, but I went into a nightclub called Tintin's. It was a rave club back in the day, opposite New Street Station. It was a really good club, and I remember going in there through all the smoke and everything. And I was completely off my rocker, and I saw Ricky sitting there with a girl in the corner on his own. Thinking, what is he doing here? You know what I mean? He didn't tell me he was coming and all that. But that night, I don't know if you remember, Ricky, I got thrown down the stairs by the doorman. I ended up in hospital. I don't know if you knew that.
I remember that you was off your trolley. That's for sure.
This way, I don't remember the stairs. The stairs at Tintin's were so steep. I mean, I got thrown down by the doorman, and I went down every step, and I lay at the bottom with my head split in two, really. And I was that off my trolley. I was just laughing at the bottom of the stairs, and I was obviously carted off to hospital then. But I
just remember you was very jovial and just dancing everywhere. You couldn't keep still. You were just dancing everywhere. And I think from what I heard, someone must have kind of just shoved you out the way, and there was just a little bit of a bind, and the doorman came for you. Which was out of order, really, because I think most of the doormen, they knew you in Birmingham anyway, and knew, even though you was off your trolley, you wasn't a threat or dangerous no one.
No, there was three guys. They pulled the knife out on me in the toilet. You see?
Was that what happened?
Right? Yeah.
Really?
They pulled the knife out on me in the toilet, and obviously I didn't like it.
No.
When would you?
So it just like sort of happened. Something happened, and it was. Yeah, I did. I got hurt by the doorman. They thought I did something, but it weren't me. But it was.
How did you explain that to Barry Finer today? But you just he was used to it.
Yeah, I wasn't in there long. I'd only had a few stitches in my head. Well, I don't know, about 7 or 8 stitches and that. And you just go back, didn't you? Just get on with it. Just tell the physio I fell over. Just get on with it. Fell over at home again, and they used to go to me again. You fall over again.
Tait, do you remember when I remember when I was in London and I went out and I think I was coming back from Ministry of Sounds, probably about 7:30 in the morning, lovely summer's day, and I remember driving back to my mum's and I had the soft top down, lovely morning, just driving back. And as I came into Hackney, I remember there was 2 policemen driving behind me, but they were in an unmarked car. Anyway, they were following me, and obviously my registration on my car at the time, it's a green BMW convertible, M4
Otto.
Yeah, so you know who it is. So I'm driving in Hackney, and this car, and I realised I didn't know it was unmarked, by the way, but they were just tailing me. Anyway, I turned down a particular road to go to my end, and
Oh, we're losing it.
Pass, I stuck my middle finger up to them, around the other way, and so we kind of met while I just come out the car, and I was outside my mum's house, and I saw the police at the end of the road, and I was like, what? Because I'm legal, you know, it's not a stolen car. I'm doing well for myself. What do you want? Anyway, they came, and they searched me, and I forgot I had just one little spliff. Just one little spliff
Only takes one.
in my little pocket. And as soon as they searched me, as soon as they took it out, I said to myself, oh, man. So they took me to the police station. This is about 8 o'clock, and I was in the police station until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I came out, and I went and I had a friend that I took her for a drink, went to Covent Garden. Halfway through it, I got a phone call. Karen Brady's phoning me. The Gold Brothers are phoning me. Barry Five's phoning me. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Anyway, Barry Five picked up the phone. Wait, where are you? I said, I'm in Covent Garden having a drink. What's up? He says, the bloody police. It's all over the news. You've been busted for drugs. Where am I? I said, Baz, it was just one little spliff. So you're not locked up? I says, no, I'm in Covent Garden. It's all right. I'm going to go tell Karen. It's just a spliff. Anyway, I came up Monday morning and I spoke to Karen, explained to them what the story was, and then the club had to speak to the rest of the players and say, look, if anyone else has been taking any substance in the last 5 days, will you just come to me? Tait, he came up to me, Rick, what you done, man? I've been on it all week. and about 4 or 5 players had to come up, and we had to go and get tested every week until it came out of our system.
Well,
I felt so guilty for you.
That was at the Sedgmere Sports and Social Club in Sheldon, where we used to train.
Yeah.
And I remember Baz said to us that if anyone has been doing anything silly, i.e. drugs or whatever, if you don't be clean and we test you and you are found to be having your system, we'll sack you. So obviously I was a bit away with the fairies in those days, and I was found to be positive, and then I had to go to they put me in the clinic, Ricky. I don't know if you remember. I was put in the Woodbull Quarry Clinic for 18 months. I was as an outpatient, twice a week. I had to go for 18 months, Mondays and Thursdays. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Sorry for putting you in it. But you know what happened? Do you know the following season, the club tried to get me on this so that they didn't have to pay me up my signing on fee. Because I remember I went on loan. I was on loan at Peterborough for 3 months. And then what the plan was is that the club wanted to get me in, just as the pre-season started. They wanted to get me in because I still had a 1.5 years left on my contract. They wanted to get me in for a drug test, because what the plan was is that if they found any substance in my system, then they can rip up my contract, and then I lose out on 30, 40 odd grand's worth of money.
How much?
No, but I'm talking about
that's where all the money went. I didn't see any of that.
I'm talking about because it was my signing on fee. It was my signing on fee every January, every July.
What's the signing on fee? What's that?
So they got Neil to call me in to come for a drug test, but bless Neil, he phoned up and he says, Rick, they're trying to do you. They want you to come in for a drug test. I don't know what to do, but listen, just go away, leave Birmingham, because they're coming for you. And I just remember, as soon as I put down the phone, I just packed my bags, left Birmingham, went to London for 2 days, and I just flew out to Corfu and Iron Upper for a month, and I didn't smoke. Right? All I was doing is drinking and smoking cigarette. And I remember when I came back, and the first day of pre-season, they grabbed me. And the first thing Neil said to me while he was walking to the toilets, he was like, wait, are you all right? Have you been smoking? I said, Neil, don't worry, man. Everything's safe. He said, you sure? Because Karen and the Gold Brothers, they're waiting for the results. So I done the results, and they done a test for cocaine, ecstasy, and cannabis, and it all come back clean. And I remember when Neil phoned Karen to say, yeah, we've done the test, it's come back clean. You can hear Karen saying, no way. No way. Do it again. Do it again. There's no way he's clean. But Neil was going like this. Because they didn't expect that I was going to come back clean. And literally, I come back clean. Then I had to put an embargo on the club because they didn't want to release my money.
Oh, right.
And so it lasted for about 2 weeks. Remember Alan? I can't remember his surname. Alan, the guy that used to do all of the admin.
Alan Jones.
Alan Jones. Yeah, he was excellent through that because he was letting me know what was going on and he was talking to the PFA. And eventually they had to release my money. And I suppose that was the end of my career at Birmingham City before Trevor Francis came anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, what stories. Wasn't expecting this, was we?
No.
Yeah. Weren't expecting that.
I was going to ask you, Tait, earlier, after you told us the story of where you began, did you ever go back to school and see your teacher who sort of like, who said you'd never be a professional footballer?
No. When I left school, I got expelled, you see.
You've had a colourful life, you have.
We're not surprised.
They didn't enter me for any exams. They asked me to leave the school in the January or February, coming up to the year when I left. So I didn't go back and do any of the exams and that. I was having a lot of problems at home. And it really affected me. In my school life and on the streets and that where I was knocking about. So I've never been back, and I think it's knocked down now. I'm not sure in Tollcross, So I didn't go back. I just as soon as I left there, and it was one of them. See you later, and concentrate on other things. But
Mine was exactly the same. Mine was exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I do regret it. I regret it big time. If it's had my time again, and it was very difficult growing up. If I'm honest with you, in certain stages of my life, very very difficult. But it's happened to so many people. It's one of them.
I don't regret it, Paul. Right, because when I got chucked out of school, I ain't even got a leaving certificate. I'm legally still a schoolboy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I got slung out of school. It was in 77, so times were very difficult then. Yeah. And you got all the SWATs and this, that, and the other. Right. Long story short, all the teachers were on dinner strikes, and none of the pupils could have dinner, so we all had to go off school. Teachers were going up to the pub, so we chained the gates up and brought ITV in. Nothing too radical there, was there? Headmaster told us all to go in. A load of them went in. Me and about 5 others stopped out, and I'm standing by my guns, mate. If I'm not having dinner, you're not having dinner. And so he expelled us there and then on the spot. And I trawled up and down all the industrial estates in Warwick and got my first job at PWB Engineering. And 5 days later, about 800 kids left school and couldn't get work. Yeah, so I've been out of work since.
Same as me, I left with nothing as well. Yeah. Well,
same here. I left with nothing as well, so you're not alone.
and look at us now, multi-millionaires, all of us.
Seems to be the common trend, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I left with my swimming certificate. I did. That was it.
Yeah.
I cheated.
All the ugly ducklings, we turn out to be great swans, isn't it?
Chris, you ain't even got a birth certificate.
No. I was made on the slab. I was.
Out of the squad that you two were in together at the Blues, who would you most, if you was in a lift together and you broke down with one other player, who would you like to be stuck in there with for the laughs, and who would you least likely to be stuck in there with that was the most, would you say, miserable?
Out of what team? The team that we played in?
Yeah, the squad that you two were in together.
You can include managers if you want to, Paul.
It depends. Back in those days, is what was available to us. It was just us, or was there alcohol and everything else?
So just no alcohol. You stuck in a lift.
Wow. Probably Devs, because we could sing. You see, me and Devs.
You could sing.
Yeah, I could sing my Rangers songs, and he can sing his Celtic songs. So we could, because we used to room together.
Yeah.
And that's all we used to do till about 4:00 in the morning before a game, and that's why we're most of the time rubbish. Except I was anyway, not Devs.
Yeah.
I'd say Devs purely because if that was a question, there's no alcohol or anything else there at that time. Because we'd just argue, yeah.
So
and anyone I wouldn't like, I don't know, but in that team, in that squad, I think Ricky will back me up on this. We all got on with each other. We're all different.
I'm struggling. I agree.
But the camaraderie between us, you know, we were always fighters. I remember, Ricky, when you got in trouble with Barney at the Villa Leisure Centre, the boxing thing. Remember when that fur off the town?
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
We're gonna do us all in, and I was getting phone calls, me and Wardy, saying they were going to come down, and I don't know if you can remember, Ricky, but
I remember because I just came to Birmingham not too long ago, and the guy, I clapped him in the back of his head, but he was a well-known individual in Birmingham, isn't it? What is his name again? Al Stevens.
Yeah, best mention no names, mate, if I'm honest with you.
Well, I think it got reconciled. It did get reconciled.
Yeah, but
do you know what I mean?
Did it get reconciled though?
It got reconciled, but I was told I couldn't go to what's the club on Hagley Road?
Liberties.
Oh, Liberties,
yeah.
I wasn't allowed in Liberties anymore.
No, there's a lot of clubs up there, but what I'm trying to allude to is when there was one of us got in trouble, which was quite regular as players, I think we'd all back each other up.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was me getting in trouble, it was Wardy, whether it was Ricky, whoever, we'd always come together, get together and back each other up.
You know what I think it is as well, Tait, and I think a lot of people, I think sometimes they can misconstrued that they see the glitz and the glam, the football and the lifestyle, and they can almost misconstrue that most of us are coming from working class families. Do you know what I mean? And there's a certain kind of a mindset that is developed on the street that, you know what I mean, when you're with your peers, you back each other up. And so most of us, we're coming from the street. We're coming from working class families. We wasn't born with silver spoons in our mouths. And that mindset doesn't change just because your career takes off or you're doing well in life. And again, as young men, you know what I mean, very confident. We believed in that. If one of us gets in trouble, then we all get in trouble. If one of us hurts, we all hurt. If one of us rejoices, we rejoice. And that's how it was. And I think you'll still find that camaraderie in most teams if there's a good dressing room. And I'm struggling to find someone that I wouldn't want to be in because it wasn't like that. There wasn't really that much clicks. You know, the banter was just flowing left, right, and centre at any given day.
Yeah. That's what you need, isn't it? That's what you need in a squad. Yeah. You know, and hopefully we've got that today now. You know, Lee Bowyer's coming. Hopefully he can bring that back. You know,
bring it back. Yeah,
yeah. He looks like it, doesn't it? Even after, as I was speaking earlier about, after 2 games, he looks like the players are happy at last. And let's hope he has that effect with them and instills a bit of confidence, the camaraderie there, because they you know, up until the Reading game, they looked like a broken bunch of players to me.
Well, I was going to say, Tait, that Harley Dean celebration speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. But, you know, as I said earlier...
I get why you did it, though, Tait. I get why you did it.
Yeah, right? I can fully appreciate why he did it because
as team
he's not
captain,
happy.
sorry, a little bit immature as team captain, but I do understand why you did it.
Yeah, I understand why he did it as well. But, he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with what was going on, with what he was hearing and what he was seeing. But then I think the players have got to take some responsibility as well.
100%.
So it's not all on Otto Karanka's head, shall we say, or shoulders. At the end of the day, they are players, and we've all been there as players where things aren't going right and results aren't going right. But I didn't see many players digging in. I didn't see anyone grabbing each other, having a go at each other. As I alluded to the fact earlier, and Ricky will back me up on this, if we were like that and our captain, Liam Daish, I've seen him make players cry in the dressing room, namely Steve Claridge, for one.
Yeah.
When he used to absolutely slaughter him when he missed chances and grab him by the throat and put him up the wall. And I think I don't think you can get away with it these days, but... No. I think you do need someone, a character in there who the players look up to. You need a captain, a man who's going to stand up to the manager as well and stand up to the players. He's got to be in both camps, really. And that's what I think a good captain is. And I haven't seen that, if I'm honest with you. I'll go to watch all the games, as you know. I don't see it.
The game's changed, though, Tait.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I generally believe that we were probably the tail end of football, how it was, where you had those characters and the manager will allow those characters to flourish and let the players sometimes sort out. Because listen, let me tell you something. At halftime, it was brutal sometimes. It was brutal. I even remember one day, Daishi, he gave me a slaughtering on the pitch, and I ran up to him, and I didn't know whether to headbutt him or knee him.
No,
but I
don't want to do that.
It was like a jerk.
Not
and I
a
left for it, but that's how it was. But we get into the changing room, and it's forgotten, literally, because I think Daishi was a master at that. He was a master at saying the right thing to really get your goat going, man. Do you know what I mean? And then you spend the rest of the day trying to please him by doing something. Because when you have those kind of characters, when they look at you and say, "Oi, well done," you actually feel like Man Mountain.
Yeah, actually, right.
Now, I think back in them days, Ricky, we had the fans with us. You see,
exactly.
The rapport between us and the fans hasn't been repeated. Down to Baz, you know, he was such a character, and I think a lot of the fans, it was mad and things, but the fans could relate to us as players as well more, and we used to socialise with the fans more. I know these days with social media, you can't do it, but I think the bond there between us and the fans back in those mid-90s was absolutely unbelievable.
We couldn't survive in today's kind of football.
I get very irate just watching it, Ricky. I don't know about you. I don't know if you watch much football. I watch every game the Blues play, and I can't have it. It drives me around the bend. You know, the rolling round and everything that goes with it. It's like to me, it's so tactical now.
Yeah,
it's just trying to stop the other team. It seems like, well, especially under Otto Karanka, it's just trying to stop the other team from playing. They sit down there with their little pads and everything. They're writing down. I mean, I know Otto Karanka. I think he missed one of our goals at Bournemouth. He was busy playing noughts and crosses. I know the game's changed. I know that, but it's so tactical now. And to me, it's 11 versus 11. Yeah. If you're fitter than the other team and you want it more than that other team, and you're going to make angles and you're going to give it 100%, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a result. I haven't been seeing that. I haven't been seeing it. I've been seeing players hiding.
Okay, Lee Malian on our fan cam this week. What question have you got for these two wonderful guys?
Keep it clean, Lee. Keep it clean.
I was just going to tell Ricky, actually, like when we went down for the 95 Windscreens final, I actually drove a minibus, and it was the Otto fan club, but you couldn't do it.
Fan club?
The highest points.
Everyone was donned up with the face paints. Everyone had afro, your dreadlock wigs, the little red, yellow and green hats. Driving down there, banners, flags, everything flying from the minibus. And when Ricky put the ball across and Tait headed it in, we was mobbed as though we were Ricky ourselves.
Brilliant.
Literally 13 Ricky Ottos, all getting mobbed, in the Wembley thing. And obviously Tait knows I love him because obviously I named my son after him. So he epitomises for me what it is to be a blues player. You know, I mean, you give 100% and you leave nothing out there. When you come off the pitch, I mean, like you say, the game he came back against Orient after his injury. I can remember him going steaming in. First thing he did when he got on the pitch was 2-footed into a tackle, and of course, everyone Tait Ravon coming down from the crowd, and it wasn't like Gascoigne, namby-pamby around, get yourself back, straight back in there where he left off, and obviously like Granger's the same. Obviously, his the other one. His son's middle names are. His Tait Granger's middle name. But,
oh my god!
But and obviously, like
poor lad.
Do you know what? That's what it is to be a Birmingham City fan, isn't it? Isn't it just?
Mad.
We had a rabbit. Honestly, Tait, you listen to this right. We had a rabbit called Dealey Adibola. Took me 2 days to write the sign out. Oh, don't let me laugh.
Tait, I bet you gutted that Ricky had a fan club.
It's
what's going on there?
Kind of fan club? What kind of
Tait had his fan club.
Were they like smoking illegal substances in there? That's the question.
Tait had his fan. Listen, before I even signed for Birmingham, Tait's name, we already heard there's just this blonde-haired skinny kid, just a brummy nutter. That's what we heard, and I've heard that when I was playing for Southend.
Have you still got the T-shirt, Tait? Have you still got the famous T-shirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? Oh, I thought I didn't realise you.
Have you got it framed?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Have you really got it?
Yeah.
How far away is it from you?
It's been reframed.
Oh, so you haven't got it at the minute?
I've not in the house. No, it's been reframed.
Right, so you lied to us. So you haven't got it. You lied to us.
I've got it, but it's actually it should have been done the other day, but there's a few problems with it, so he's had to take it back.
When you get it back, dude, would you come back on and display it to us?
Love to
because
see that.
I was literally right in front of you at Wembley when you took
Yeah.
that T-shirt off,
Yeah.
and I looked to my lads and I thought, oh man, only Birmingham City could do this. This is super.
Yeah. Well, I took a few digs over the years, believe me, for that.
You did come here many years ago, and I did make a mock-up of one, and you did sign one. I wonder who's got that.
I don't know.
Yeah, because somebody had that.
Actually, I was looking, Chris, the other day at yeah, and I saw the photograph of it.
Yeah, somebody signed one, sort of mock-up I made, and somebody bought it. I think it went to Children's Hospital, the money did, so it was all in there.
Right. Any idea Craig Courtney could update us on how the auctions are going? What have we got actually on auction at the minute? I know we've got the book, Hugging Strangers, sorry.
Yeah.
Hugging trees?
That's Tait on the golf course.
I think we've got a book, we've got shirts, we've got a picture, and loads. Apparently it's up to £635 for Jake's headstone, so that's brilliant, fantastic.
635, so that's what, £365 to go. 365 quid.
Fantastic.
That's a pound for every day of the year, right? Can we get another 365 quid tonight for Jake's little headstone, right? And the family have been through so much, losing all the children. Come on, guys, come on. Can we do something tonight? I'd love nothing. It's my first day back today after injury. Right, there's my injury. Look there.
Oh, that's it. That's put me off my Balti mix.
It's my first day back after injury. I'm trying to go in here with a 2-footed tackle. Right, can we please get 365 quid in tonight?
Not after that,
in the next 25 minutes.
That's put me off my stir fry.
Jason
What do you mean,
Hughes.
Paul? It is a stir fry, Mark.
Jason Hughes says, my son and daughter's middle names are Francis and Francis. So far, nobody's called. No, nobody's named the kids Ricky so far.
Didn't you name your dog Ricky, Paul?
Paul.
Yeah, take it.
Can
Can you get one quick?
Dog's Ricky?
Can I name my dog Ricky?
Didn't you name it Ricky?
I think you've made
Okay,
it.
very quickly. I want to do this as quick as we can because we've got so
He's trying
much.
to get us in the boxing ring.
Paul, can we do
That's what he's trying to do, isn't it?
Paul, can we do take his 1 to 11, please?
Yeah, quickly,
Push it
yeah.
along.
Yeah.
We've only got 25 minutes left.
Yeah, we asked you to do your 1 to 11, don't we, from the players you played with for us over the years?
Yeah.
I bet that weren't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't, and it was very difficult. What I looked at when I did it, I've just gone for toughness in defence, who could play, and goals really in my team. And what you forgot earlier, you know, when you said to me earlier, "Oh, Ricky, you didn't put Ricky in," right? But Ricky, you forgot that my manager was Baz. And me and Ricky were entertainment managers in the team, right? Because I'm not in the team, am I? I'm not putting myself in the team.
Yeah.
Me and Ricky would go into the entertainment managers like Ed Steen and David Howells were for us under Baz. So you didn't know about that. So they used to organise our nights out. So me and Ricky would be chief ID high. So I've gone for. Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, go for it.
Right then, my goalkeeper, I've gone for Ian Bennett. I think he was a fantastic goalkeeper. Not the biggest in stature, brilliant lad, good at the ball at his feet, brilliant spring, good shot stopper, all round brilliant northern lad who loves whippets and flat caps, and he's a really, really nice guy, and what a goalkeeper. A back four, on the right back, I've gone for Gary Poole, very underrated, started off his career at Tottenham, really good player. And what I've gone for is link-ups, you see. I've gone for 4-4-2, so in front of Gary Poole, I've gone for Devs on the right-hand side,
All right,
Good
because
shout.
Dev's nasty little git. He
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Always wants, always has, he still is. Always gets your goals. But I'd look going for my link up. So maybe Paulie and Dev's on the right hand side. I think they'd work really well together. On the left hand side, very difficult. I was going to go for Franey, but I've gone for Martin Granger because he does chip in with quite a lot of goals, free kicks. He's also decent in the air. And just in front of him, I've gone for Jonathan Hunt purely because of all the goals. And
Good shot.
Ricky,
Good shot.
do you remember when he scored 2 hat tricks in the one season from midfield for us?
Yeah.
I don't think any other players done that, have they, for us?
No, remember, I played with him. I played with him at Southend as well. So very quality
what I've
player.
gone for there is the link. I've just gone for link ups really. Grange and Hunty, and the goals that Hunty gets. My 2 centre halves, very difficult once again. So I play with some brilliant centre halves, but I've gone for a partnership who know each other. I've gone for Liam Daish on the left side of defence, who's a man mountain, and his partner in crime, Dave Barnett. Dave Barnett, very quick, nasty. Daishi, not so quick, but very nasty and an absolutely fantastic leader. So I think with that back 4 there, especially with Grange and Paulie, you've got people who put their foot in who can also play as well. Across the middle, I've gone for Devs on the right, Hunty on the left, and my middle 2, I've gone for Mark Ward, who was just incredible player, just sitting in front of the back 4, and Brian Hughes. I didn't really play with Hughesy, but I was at the club with Hughesy, and he was absolutely fantastic. He's getting on the end of things in the box, getting beyond the front 2. He's had an absolutely brilliant engine, and I just have Wardy sitting in there. My front 2, Steve Claridge, run all day for you, brilliant at holding the ball up, always get you loads of goals. I think he scored 20 goals for us, didn't he? Claridge that one season.
20 plus,
Absolutely fantastic centre forward. Run all day long, really hard to play against, brilliant to have in your team. And with him, I'd put Paul Pesky-Salido, someone really quick, really busy, scores goals, and it can also go in behind. So if Cleggy comes short, I want that ball to go in behind. And Pesh, 9 times out of 10, no one's going to stay with him unless we play Millwall away, where he absolutely shat himself. So I wouldn't take him to Millwall because he's scared of the Millwall fans. I don't know if you remember that we got beat there 2-0 once, and he wouldn't go and collect the ball from off the side of the pitch. I kept on telling him to go and get the ball for a quick throw in, and he said, "I'm not going off there." He said, "The mental," and that was it. He didn't leave the centre circle all game. so for that, I wouldn't take him to Millwall away. And the manager, I'd have Baz just to get the team going, get the fans going, and the entertainment managers, obviously Ricky and myself.
So we always travel.
Me and Ricky have been legends. We've got the team going, win, draw or lose, always on the booze. So not anymore, Ricky. I don't know about you, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So is there any
great side that is, Paul. That's a great team. That is.
That's a great team.
I presume Daish is the captain.
Daish should be my captain, and I'd just go for link up. So I think what's missing, I don't know if you watched the Rangers Celtic game the other day. I think Alan McCoy was alluding to the fact that the Celtic front 2, Edouard and El Nanusi, you don't see it anymore. 2 forwards linking up together. You understand? It's gone out of the game. It's such a big part of the game. If you've got 2 players in unison, running their socks off up front, holding the ball, making it difficult for defenders, it's so difficult to play against. It really, really is. And you don't see it anymore. But I watched it the other day, and the Celtic team against Rangers, and beat us really, but
it's happening at Leicester as well, isn't it? With it's happening at Leicester with Vardy and what's his name as well, isn't it?
Iheanacho.
Yeah.
If you've got players all across the pitch working together, centre halves working together, 2 midfielders get to know each other, left back, winger, right back, and they're all getting to know each other and they're working for each other. Okay, you form partnerships all over that pitch, or die for each other.
Yeah.
That's what I'd look for in my teams. I'd just want to attack. I'd want to attack, especially at St Andrews. There's no time to defend, and all these, sit down looking at the other team playing, trying to stop them playing. I'd just get my team the fittest I could possibly get them.
Ray Howard just says, Hayward has just said about 9 of those will be sent off these days before half time.
Yeah, I have to look at that one.
Yeah. There's a bit of a flaw there. Tait,
Yeah.
You'd
I
have,
know, yeah, they would, yeah.
You'd have 3 players left. Well,
Hey, you have
2
to make
players
sure you're picking the team to play football and not the team for where we're going out after.
Yeah, I know. It'd be a good session after that, wouldn't it?
Two quick fire questions for you both. Who's the best player you've ever played with in your careers and against?
I'll go first. I've said before, Mark Wood is the best player I've ever played with. When he come to Blues, it's towards the end of his career. He had a great career at West Ham. You know, you always have to speak
Everton,
to West Ham fans about how good he was.
Yeah.
In '86, he was, that team that finished third in the
League,
top division. He was an incredible player for his age. He was honestly brilliant footballer and a great, really good friend of mine. Had a few problems, obviously, in his life. And the best player I've played against, there's so many. But the one I played against was Eric Cantona of Man United. And when I walked on the pitch at the Cliff, we played him at their training ground, after he'd done that karate kick and that Palace fan. And I saw him when I walked on the pitch, and I didn't realise who he was. He was that big. His stature, the build of him, he was unbelievable. As I've got him, and I've got Gianfranco Zola, he was just frightening, absolutely frightening Zola, how good he was. But, the best midfielder I ever played against was Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So clever, absolutely. Because at the time he was at Bournemouth, I was at Birmingham, and he went to Liverpool. I was going to Tottenham. So we were the big thing on the block at the time before I got my injury. But then when he played at Liverpool, I played against him a couple of times, and he was incredible. Never wasted a pass. Never couldn't get the ball off him.
Yeah.
And I'd throw Steve Bull in there as well for the Wolves. Hated playing against Bull.
Yeah,
nightmare to play against. Oh Christ! Never stopped running. Walls through and through. Horrible to play against. He was. And what a finisher! What a great finisher! But I think the one was Eric Cantona for me. He scored a hat-trick against us in about half an hour, and he was just Alex Ferguson was on the side, just clapping him. He was that good. He was physically massive.
Tait, I played in that same game with you at the Cliff.
Yeah,
it was 3 30-minute halves, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and honestly, we were just like, it's Eric Cantona, mate. We were starstruck. Honestly, because when you see him in the flesh, you just don't realise how huge he is.
Yeah.
And he just glided. And I remember one day I went near him, but I was never going to tackle him. I just let him glide. And we were just like, Eric Cantona, It's Eric Cantona. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, for me, I remember we had a pre-season game that we played against. Was Zola there at the time when Ruud Gullit was there? When we played Chelsea in the pre-season game? But for me, Eric Cantona was the one, man.
Yeah.
He was one of the top players in the world at that time. I remember that Southend I played against Batistuta when we played Fiorentina. But the standout one for me was Eric Cantona. Country mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, great
Easy.
player. I think somebody asked earlier, Tait, who was your footballing hero growing up as a kid?
Oh, you're not going to like this at all.
No.
You're not going to like this at all. But it was Gary Shaw at the Villa.
Okay.
Yeah. When
That's
when I he's blocked there, Gary Shaw, and I
Close him down, Chris. Close him down.
And I had mine.
Can't say that one.
I know Gary. I did a bit of coaching with Gary, and he's a top. I like him. I love Gary because he's mad Villa, and I'm mad Blues, and I like him for that. He comes from Kingshurst, and I was coming from Stetchford at the time, and I like Gaz. He's one of them. He's mad Villa as I'm mad Blues, but I used to love watching him on the box and that his little turns that he used to do. And Kenny Dalglish, I used to love watching Kenny Dalglish at Liverpool. I used to love him. He's back to goal, not blessed with massive pace, but I used to model myself on them. But when I was a kid growing up, playing up front, always be good with your back to the goal, bringing other players into play, making little angles and being lively. And watching Kenny Dalglish, I learned so much off him as a kid growing up. I took that in, tried to replicate that as all kids do on a Sunday. You watch him on the Saturday night match of the day, and that you take it the next day. You've watched your heroes, or not say your heroes, but players you really admire, and you try and do things that they've done, replicate it.
Never quite come off.
Quite a few players who I actually really, really liked, but they were all Peter Beardsley as well. I still love Peter Beardsley. What a fan he was.
Oh,
And
I
later
think we
on,
had,
Teddy Sheringham. What a
News just coming in. Blues under 23s are now 2-1 up. Here's Beau the Cat, Beau. She's getting a little bit restless today. She's been here 3 minutes. She likes to make an appearance once a week. On the Talk Show. Off you go, girl.
Strangling her. It's like you're trying to strangle her.
well, what about you,
I
mate?
used to like, back in the day, Chris, when we was kids, you used to have them clackers that you used to swing round.
Knockers, yeah, I remember them.
Yeah. No.
Oh, well, you're talking about... I wasn't born in the 30s.
Nick's on about his false teeth.
I ain't got any yet.
I know what you're talking about.
I use a cat as one when we're playing. So.
Go on, Paul, you're saying?
I was just going to ask Lee on fan cam, what was your first game as a fan? And who's your favourite ever player as a Blues fan?
First game was a 1-4 defeat to Man City. Ricky Springer scored to put Blues 1-0 up, and we ended up losing 4-1. But I was hooked from my uncles had taken me. I remember standing outside the Garrison, with me popping crisps as they were inside meeting the friends and stuff. I remember the walk up the hill, going through the turnstile, going up the back.
How old was you then, Lee?
7.
7.
Yeah. And looking, going through the gap at the back of the cop, seeing the pitch for the first time. I can remember the first surge I got crushed in, with that Ricky Springer goal, and the smell of the pies, the smell of the bovril. But I was lost 4-1, and I was hooked still. So,
smell of the toilets.
And then my first season ticket on the 84-85 season on the last year at school, and been a season ticket holder ever since.
Fair play. And
you were there before the old cop came down, weren't you? Just
Yeah.
I was
did
there.
you ever take a walk up at the Tilton Cop corner and go downstairs and have a piddle in them toilets with the green rails? Mate, I tell you what, good God.
No, mate, listen, I
Needed a nuclear
used to sweep them terraces, never mind, piddle on them. I used to sweep, and after you lot had left all your pies and everywhere, every Saturday when I used to play, on the Saturday when I was an apprentice playing in the first team, then on the Monday I'd be sweeping the terraces. It was brutal. Imagine sweeping the Tilton and the Cop.
Yeah.
Windy, getting every last bit of paper up, and then the main stand and the railway. It was absolutely horrific.
Do you think Devs would ever sweep the terraces?
Sorry?
Do you think Devs would ever sweep the terraces, or is it beyond him? You know what I mean?
Devs,
it's a bit.
It's, I'd say it's beyond him.
Yeah.
It's far too aloof for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Far too posh.
He definitely gets out the bath to go to the toilet, doesn't he? That sort of person. Yeah.
It was that was difficult. That was really difficult sweeping the terraces, mate. It took 3 days. It was horrible.
I can imagine. Yeah. And there wasn't any bins then, was there? You just threw everything on the floor.
The only positive about it was we used to find loads of money.
That's mine. It's mine.
Yeah.
Well, I lost 2 in a tower then.
Bearing in mind, lads, we were only on £28.50 a week as apprentices, and my old man was a roofer who was on about 300 quid a week. So you can imagine that's how little we used to get. And so any 2p's and 5p's we used to find, it was like we won the lottery. It was like, I'm having it.
Nick's like that now.
Yeah.
Message here from Auntie Linda. She goes, let's meet Paul Tait in bar 8. Invite Otto and let's get blotto. Oh, Linda, if you could search through all the comments, Bab, and have a look at those people that want to donate tonight and get in touch with them, we'd really appreciate that. Do we know what the fund's up to at the moment, Christopher?
It was up to, with pledges, it's over £670 at the moment.
670. So I need another 330 quid tonight. I've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, please.
Adam says, Tate, Balti pies, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
Yeah,
I can't say what? No.
I love Balti pies.
I do them, yeah.
Okay, so you're a yes.
Yeah.
So what's your Balti pies, yes or no?
I'm a yes.
You can't say that, Mark. How dare you have an opinion? Balti pies are the most disgusting things ever.
Come back for Lee. Lee on fan cam again. Your favourite ever player in all that time?
Well, obviously, as I alluded to earlier, Tait and Granger, just we pit them on.
Oh, not Ricky Otto then.
What's the one? But Noel Blake as well was a favourite, and I love
Blakey, yeah.
I love Jukovic as well, because he never seems to give up, no matter how tired he is.
Yeah.
Even if he's running on empty, he'll give you his all. I love Juki.
Yeah.
But Tait and Granger are my all-term favourites.
Yeah, fair play.
Good choice.
Adam Vincent's asking you, Tatey, what's your... well, I think I know what the answer is, but what's your favourite goal for Blues?
Probably my first goal. I scored against Walsall.
Oh, okay.
Cup final.
My first ever goal when I received the ball from a corner. I think it was a free kick on the edge of the box. Slipped inside the pan and bent it over the keeper into the far top corner.
Wow, what a feeling that must have been, from sweeping up the stands to putting the ball in the top corner.
Yeah, I was still sweeping up the stands on the after, you know what I mean? Sorry about that.
Tate, is it right? Now, I'm not imagining this right, but in that cup-winning year, in the trophy-winning year, I believe we played Swansea first game at St Andrews. It was only the main stand open, and you scored the first goal. So you scored the first ever goal in the UK in a golden goal competition, and then you scored the first final goal in a golden goal competition.
I don't know. I think it was a guy from Huddersfield who scored the first ever one.
Oh,
who scored the first ever golden goal, and then I scored the first one in a final at Wembley.
You scored the first one at St Andrews as well against Swansea. I'm sure it was
at St Andrews. I did. We'd gone down to 10 men.
Yeah,
I'd been sent off, and I went. And believe it or not, I ended up playing right back.
I think there was about 800 of us in the main stand.
I went.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I think it was a decent crowd there.
Yeah,
I think.
it was right. It was only the main stand that was open.
I scored against Swansea. Yeah, I scored a winner. I think it was.
Well, it was a golden goal winner. Yeah.
I thought Tait scored the first ever golden goal when the game against Swansea. I thought it was the first ever.
Yeah. And so you scored the first ever golden goal in that competition, and you scored the last golden goal in that competition. What a record! Superb.
That's iconic, isn't it?
All take, ladies and gentlemen.
If it's correct, yeah, it's a great record. That is.
I bet the goal at Huddersfield was special as well, wasn't it, when we got promoted that day?
Yeah, because we had. It was the pressure on us to get promoted was massive that season. We had to go back up. You know, it was nuts, and we had to get the results. And it was nip or tuck. Huddersfield were right up there with us, and it was a full house, 20 odd thousand. We had about 4,500 fans behind the goal. It was mad hot day. There was loads of trouble at the game. It was volatile. It was just brilliant. I come on as a sub, and I scored. Just tapped in from a yard out. Deadly from a yard out, and it was just incredible because I had such a rapport with the fans, and I knew most of them. When they all come, I've still got pictures to this day of the lads who jumped on me after the game, and they're all lads who naughty lads, shall we say? And it's such a big thing for me. The honour to play for the team that I've followed since 1980.
Superb.
And to bring so much joy to fans for that season. It's just incredible for me, and it's something that obviously will live with me to the day I die.
It weren't just that season, it was all through your career at Blues, though, because when you heard them words, we knew you'd gone in for one. When you heard Tatey Rave on.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Tatey and Rave in the same sentence, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've got so many things I could tell you about the stories, but it just
you can't. We're governed by Ofcom. No, I couldn't do it. It was just crazy.
Tate, you ever thought about doing a book?
Yes, I was contacted last week by someone from one of the big papers who asked me again, but the path, about 3 people have asked me. Now, the path that I'm following at the minute, guys, is a path, a different path. Obviously, I don't drink or anything anymore. I'm 5 years clean of everything. I've had a long, hard journey. So
good stuff.
The path I'm taking at the moment is a different path, and I don't know if there's some of the stuff I could tell you. It's not where I really want to be, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it's just absolute nuts. I think I'm the only player ever to play for Birmingham to get arrested or taken away for questioning for murder on the treatment table, put it that way. That's how bad it was.
Oh my
Not
God.
that I murdered anyone, by the way.
No,
Don't get me
we
wrong.
believe you.
I
We believe
didn't,
you.
but it
We
was just,
believe
I was carted off, and all the players I was with at the time were like, what on earth has he done now? And it wasn't actually something to do with me, but it was this serious crime squad had got the wrong person, shall we say. But that's just something I could say, but it was, I don't think it's right for me because I work with children and that now, and and God knows if one of them ever picked up a book and read something about.
I suppose what you could do though, Paul, is you could subtly hint at those things that were going on and how you've changed. Again, very similar to Ricky's story. How you've changed over the years, and how coming from the streets of Birmingham, playing for the Blues, like you say, training on God knows where on the park. Going through all that you went through in the 90s, like we all went through, and now you're on a different journey, like you say, a different path. And it does prove to people, right, that because you're on sometimes a bad journey, doesn't mean to say you always stay on that bad journey.
No.
Right? Because there is always a step off it.
Yeah, it's not a willpower. I mean, anyone out there who is struggling...
You have to want it and you have to take it, but there is that step there, and if you're big enough and brave enough to just jump off the little platform of the stupidity and say, you know what, this is no longer for me. I'm going to do something absolutely crucially well worth in my life that people will actually remember me for, not just being a footballer.
And it's inspirational as well when somebody just goes there,
Ricky inspired us so much the other week when he was on. That was incredible.
I think for Tait, though, and I do hear what you're saying, Tait, but I think Birmingham as a city would be at a great loss if they don't hear your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm telling you, right, for all the thousands of footballers, there's only a handful that are still local lads that grow up and get that kind of privilege to play for their boyhood clubs. And for me, there was no one more passionate than you. Yes, we've made mistakes. I think most readers will understand that, as a youth, we're going to make mistakes. But I think Birmingham as a city, that's your legacy, bruv. Do you know what I mean? When you're long gone and your children or your grandchildren, this city needs to hear that there was a Paul Tait. Honestly, bruv.
They'd probably disown me though, Rick, if they.
No, they wouldn't. Like the thing says, you don't have to give all the details. You don't have to give all the details.
It's your past. It's not your present and it's not your future. It's your past. Ricky, will you get hold of this man after the show and talk to him for me? So no, seriously, I genuinely mean that because this is such an inspirational man, right? Yeah. Tait, your words need to come out of your mouth, the truth, the honesty, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. We've all been through it.
Yeah.
But you know what? If one kid picks that book up and reads it and thinks, shucks, you know what? I ain't going down that road.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm working with children who are in schools in Worcestershire who are really struggling, like I was. And because of my background, I think schools, the heads and that at schools can relate to what I've been through and what the kids are going through. So that's the path I'm on at the moment. And I'm putting myself through diplomas and God knows what I'm doing at the moment. And the future's only bright for me in that aspect.
But you know what else is? There are other people's futures that are bright because of you. Talk to Ricky after the show for me, dude. Promise me.
Yeah.
Promise me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I specifically didn't do a last 15 minutes tonight because there's no way could I have gone through that much laughter with all these stitches in my belly. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Talk and Talk Show. Debbie, don't worry, we'll get you to that £1,000, sweetheart. I do promise.
Oh, definitely, yeah, we're not far off.
And don't feel guilty. Please, please, please don't feel guilty. You know what? It'll be you helping somebody else out in a couple of weeks' time. Come on. We're all in this together. We're one big family. We're Birmingham City. Loads and loads of love to you, sweetheart. Take good care. From Chris Brown.
Good night.
From our lovely fan cam, the lovely Lee Malin.
Hi, everyone. Could I just get Tait to say hello to Linda and Pete at Reddit Supporters Club next time you see them and all?
I will. I haven't seen them for a while, Lee, but I will do.
Bless you. And from the one and only Mark Adams.
Good evening, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe.
England versus San Marino on Thursday. Paul, good night. God bless.
Good night, all. Keep right on.
Too right, mate. Too right. And from our two super special guests tonight, I know that Paul didn't know that Ricky was going to join us, but what a bit of fun that was.
We tried to set you up as well.
I was really pushing to get you 1 to 11 done beforehand, so that you'd left him out the squad, and then we could bring him straight in.
Yeah, but you didn't know his entertainment manager.
Ladies and gentlemen, a great inspirational show again tonight. I've lasted the course, but I'm absolutely shattered now. Paul Tait, ladies and gentlemen, what a legend.
Yeah, everyone.
Good night, Paul. And the one and only, of course, thanks for coming back on, Ricky Otto. Love him to bits. God bless you.
Cheers,
Here's Ricky.
Paul, get my number from what's his name, man. Give me a call when you're ready, pal.
Yeah, I will, Ricky, man.
Right, good to see you, man. What's his name got my number? Get it from... Is it...
Paul.
Paul.
If you two gents could just...
Quaid, sorry.
Finish, yeah? Ricky, stay on for 2 minutes after the show. Paul, stay on for 2 minutes after the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the Talk Show. It's gone 9 o'clock. We're running over time. You can catch us back up tomorrow on Switch Radio at 10 o'clock in the evening. That'll be the edited down version. Of course, you get it on all sorts of platforms. YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And don't forget to join our new website. Chris, quickly tell us about that one.
Tiltontalk.com.
Tiltontalk.com. Join in that website and get all the latest news and information and bits and pieces. We are as mad as that as we don't care, but this is what we do. We love it. We love our Monday nights, so we love you people too. Good night, God bless, and from all of us, stay safe, take care, and keep right on.